I'm so excited though. I don't even know how to use this thing. Well, let me tell you what I did. Went and interviewed the city planners, because this whole process is from beginning to end of a project, and city's involved. And push the button. I thought it was recording, and then some guy walked by and said, "Your machine's off." So I figured, I must have run out of tape. And I'd left it on pause, and it automatically shuts off. Oh. So we went through the whole interview.
Without it?
Without anything.
Oh, jeez.
But let's see, I think I've made sure that this is on record, no pausing here. Okay. Anyway, so first we should start by introducing. I thought, okay, this is Joe Carrick, and he's a home designer, Joe Carrick Design, and he's been in business for a while, and I appreciate you really letting me come interview you. So we can just start.
This is pretty formal.
Okay, I just had a couple of questions.
Okay.
Okay, so the project is going from the beginning of a home to the end of a home and the process. So I've included the designers, the city, which includes the planning department, developers, the engineering department, and then contractors, and then the finished project, the house being built. And so I am wanting to know just a couple of things. Maybe we can start with some history, background history on how you got started and how long you've been in business and what motivated you to start designing homes.
Okay. I've designed homes for 25 years-ish, something like that. But I've only had this business for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
This business came about as a result of my previous job, a lot of travel, a lot of things that were not conducive to family life and things that I enjoy. And I've been doing a lot of plans for friends and people I knew in the industry, and so it seemed like the logical jump. And so just about 10 years ago, 2 weeks ago actually, we started Joe Carrick Design, and here we are.
It's
so
moved from there.
Yeah, it has.
And have you been happy with the progress that you have made?
Yeah, I have. I mean, it's like any other business. There's things that you stress about, and there's things you always want to improve, but that's what gets you up every day to have something to work on. So.
And by the way, you're a perfectionist. My teacher's a perfectionist.
Oh.
I'm going, oh my goodness, how
I think that's a good character trait in this business.
It is a good character trait to have in the business of designing homes.
Yeah.
When you started, when you were younger, did you just doodle and like drawing house plans when you were?
No.
In school, you just would not pay attention to
No.
the teacher because you were doing things.
Not really. I actually came into it as a result of I'm an artist. I like to draw and paint and things. And believe it or not, when I was a Boy Scout, I took the architecture merit badge and the drafting merit badge, and that kind of gave me some interest in it. That got me headed towards drafting, but I never really assumed you could make money in this industry, to be honest with you.
Right.
And so through college, I went more towards mechanical engineering and design, and I worked for Eyring for how many ever years doing that. And but there's not a lot of art involved in that side of things. So that's what draws me to it. Not that I'm a fanatic about houses or and that might sound bad being a home designer.
No.
But
and we've discussed that in class, that you have, being in architecture, you have a chance to express your artistic talents. And we talked about how sometimes you can't express them as well as what you would want to, because then the cost of houses go up beyond budget.
Right. Well, and I actually, I'm not that worried about that.
Yeah.
I actually like being able to make things structurally sound and cost effective and still have the aesthetic value there as well. So I like blending all three. I'm not crazy in any one of them.
Yeah, does help, and that's what I was going to ask. One of the questions was, some architects don't understand the structural design, the structure that goes into building homes, and obviously you do, and you have felt that that has helped
My
you.
mechanical background is very helpful. You know, if you can design the intricacies of a flight simulator, you know, a roof framing plan is really not that difficult. So you just have to spend the time and be able to see it. So
we did talk about time a little bit, that when a client first comes to you and you have your rough draft, and then you work on the finished project, how much time do you feel like you spend from the rough draft to the finished project?
it varies with every project. That's one of the difficult things about this, because you know, we don't break it down in our fee schedules as to, you know, this much time designing, this much time detailing, you know. You have to kind of back up and look at it more. The whole, well, multiple projects, you know, a month's worth of work, you know, how much time did we spend, and average everything out. Some clients come in, everything you draw they like, you know, and you just click right through. I love that. I make probably more money than I should. Some clients drag it out so long, you just, you know, you don't know when you're ever going to be done. And so hopefully all things blended together, you come together somewhere in the middle, and we figured that out, you know. So, but
that's exciting. So, how is it when clients come in? What is your purpose in the scheme of getting the house to the finished project? What do you do with the clients?
What role do I fill in the process?
What role do you fill in the process?
Well, you know, my biggest job is to get out of their head what they want, and to get it on paper, and to get it engineered and things, so that the subcontractors and whatever have what they need to build it. There's lots of different ways of going about that. Some people really have a difficult time envisioning what they want, so we have a lot of stock plans, a lot of things they can look at, and that's really nice for them, because they can say, oh, yeah, I really like that, you know, and they'll still make changes and things, but it kind of moves them down the road to where they're a little more comfortable. Plus it saves them a lot of money, and that's usually appealing. Some people just really, you know, they've done a lot of homework, they've looked at, they're really intimate with the project, and they know what they want, and typically they'll start from scratch, and we start out with pages of notes and lists, and we just spend time together coming up with what they want, and then we just start real easy preliminary drawings that they can come in and review. Sometimes they'll sit with me for a couple hours while I draw on the computer, and we'll work certain areas, and you know, honestly, I can't think of two clients that have been the same. Everybody has, you know,
everyone's different,
and most people are passionate about their house. They, you know, it's very important to them.
So do you feel that your artistic ability there has helped you to be able to, you know, definitely draw the...
I know what looks
good. You know what...
you know,
because you can see it.
Yeah, and sometimes that doesn't help. You know, some people just have it in their mind what they want, and you know, there's houses out there that we've designed and drawn that are, in my opinion, not very attractive. But they're happy, and they're the client.
What's important is
the
client.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, what were some of the things that you feel have attributed to your success? Making this business work.
I'm honest.
You're honest.
And I think that helps. I think people know that, and they feel comfortable, and that's a reputation that we have. My background mechanical, you know, we have, everything we get comes as referrals. And we have, you know, just tons of people out there. Usually it takes a builder somehow ending up building a house that we've drawn, and usually it hooks them, and they'll just start sending people to us. They're buildable plans, they're clean, they're precise. You know.
There again, has the mechanical helped you with the precision and understanding how a house is constructed? Have have you ever had a builder come to you and say, wait, this doesn't quite go together?
Yes, I've had it happen quite a few times.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the times, I'm right, and I can show him that I'm right. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
which I'm okay doing,
yeah,
because it's,
yeah,
you know, I even have a hard time if one of my other guys has designed something and
Right.
check this and look at it.
And
You
you
know,
can see that
if you
something's-
haven't, you know, if you haven't come up with it and things, sometimes it is hard to see it. And that's okay, you know, we'll explain, you know, or maybe another detail or something to help them. So I don't view that as a bad thing. But,
Oh, no, no.
but yeah, we've had a couple of times where something was off or things. So
Well, you know, sometimes it does help having that mental image, because like taking my computer class right now, and I don't understand computers at all. And the teacher finally tells me, he goes, okay, just think of it this way. When you're a secretary, you do it, back in our days, everything was done manually. You take a document, go to the file cabinet, find the folder and put it in the folder. And he says the computer just does that
it for
same
you.
thing.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I thought, oh, I understand now a little better how
Yeah.
computers work.
Yeah.
So understanding how houses go together helps too.
Yeah. Trust
Yeah.
plants really like us. You know,
Yeah,
we have a lot of people in those industries that refer
Yeah.
people over here because,
Yeah.
you know, it makes their job easier. Our engineer loves us.
Yeah.
They always put their interns on our plans because, you know, that they're understandable. They don't have to figure that out. So.
Okay, so you have cleaned your plans up so that they're
Mhm.
very
And we have
nice.
a system.
And you have a system. How long did it take you to develop this
It's
system?
still being
Still in the
developed. Every
process.
year, at the end of the year, we sit down and we have a staff meeting and we go through things that we think we can improve. I have all my guys write up a list of things that they feel like, you know, and then I take those and I go through them. And usually every year we'll implement something a little different. Not major adjustments, just
Yeah.
little tweaks. We have a 5-page checklist
Okay.
that the plans go through. And it doesn't matter if it's a 1,000 square foot entry level home or a 15,000 square foot home in the river bottoms. The
Yeah.
same checklist applies because the
It's
same
the
code
whole
applies,
inside.
this, you know, everything goes. And we've developed that as cities change. You know, some cities get more intense.
Right.
And if something comes up in a city that they're requiring that hasn't been required in the past, we make that standard for every city. We just, you know, we put it into our
Oh,
system so that no matter
so-
where you build or if you're buying a reuse,
Then
you know, we don't go, oh, you know, this is Draper, we've got to
Oh.
do this. You know, we just try to hit the highest.
Right, now
level.
we have talked about that too, a little bit, requirements, how the federal, how their set standards and the states and the cities can change those.
Yeah,
And they always have to have a minimum of whatever. And most people try to get the minimum because it's the least cost, you know.
yeah. Sometimes they
Which
shoot
doesn't-
themselves in the foot doing that, I think. but
Right.
yeah, that's true.
Right, and so I like that idea. If you do just straight across the board, every home that you do, you know it's gonna have certain guidelines that it has to meet. Then you don't have to worry so much
Yeah.
about which city you're building in, because
Right.
it should fit into every city. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That's a nice idea.
It's worked for us. And we
Yeah.
bounced down the road the other way for a while before
Oh,
we
did
figured
you?
that out.
Yeah.
But, you know, just
So what are some of the things in your 5-page process, did
the
you say?
checklist.
Or yeah, and your checklist that you go through.
That's, you know, a lot of it is just code items, making sure that everything's noted on there that should be noted on there.
Yeah.
And we've, you know, streamlined that so that there's a system to doing that, you know, applying notes. There's
Applying
methods
notes.
of detailing and dimensioning that work better for building than others. You know, you can dimension the heck out of a plan, have a builder still just scratching his head trying to find the information he needs. So we've tried to streamline that and say, you know, this is, you know,
Okay.
without spending 4 hours explaining that to you, just it works. And then just verifying things,
Okay.
making sure that from one sheet to the other, that, you know, the information is consistent.
there, yeah.
And is there.
One of the things that we had talked about is how, and I don't know, and you may have found that, well, it may differ with different contractors too, how they don't like going through all the papers. If they have a note here, they don't like going through all these papers to try and, figure out where it is, and then by the time they get back, they've forgotten what they were even looking at.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that has been part
Yeah.
of you guys have got that.
Mm-hmm. We have a competitor who I think does a really good job, but one of the things that I think he falls short on is he feels like more sheets in a drawing package is better than less.
Yeah.
A drawing package that would, consist of 11 or 12 sheets for us would be more like 25 to 30 sheets for him. He'll just pull everything out and put it on separate sheets, which is really easy to do on the computer,
Right. Yeah.
and that's
It can
great.
be, yeah.
And it does help him, because sometimes when things get a little crowded, you've got to spend a little extra time, a little housekeeping time, making sure things are legible. His answer to that is, well, just split it onto different sheets. But yeah, we've had a lot of builders that come in and say, it just drives me nuts because I never know. I'm always flipping through sheets.
Right.
So yeah, those are just kind of some of the mechanics of it, but still important.
That is, it's important because, if you're doing referral, the builders definitely are going to say,
If builders
oh,
hate
I
your drawings,
love his house plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now part of yours, have you gotten a lot of referrals from, a lot of your homes have been in the Parade of Homes.
Mhm.
How many did you?
I've
lost track, but it seems like you've had.
We
lots
typically
of
have
homes.
5 or 6 every year. This year we only had 3. We actually had 7 at one time, but for just weird reasons they couldn't make the home show, so they had to drop out.
But that
the home
helps.
show gets your name out there,
Yeah.
but the vast majority of the people going through the home show are not going through the home show with the intentions of building the house. They're going through for a date or for which is okay.
Yeah.
But it's more of a long-term impact, to where when people start doing, a lot of people have seen Joe Carrick Design and they know the name and they're comfortable with it, and so that's probably the biggest benefit to it. So
I like your webpage. Went to your webpage and looked at it.
yeah,
And you've done a really nice. And did you say you designed yours too?
Chris
Did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
He did a good job on it.
Yeah,
I
he's
was
still got some
impressed.
house cleaning to do there too, but right now we're too busy sawing to sharpen the saw. So.
Yeah. Okay, so you basically started out with you,
Mhm.
well, and your family,
Yeah,
doing.
me and Debbie for
You
the
and
most part.
Debbie, yeah.
Mhm.
And now you have jumped up to how many employees do you
I have
have?
7 right now.
7 employees, and that includes your drafts people and your secretaries and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I have 2. Chris kind of sits on the
Comes
things.
and
He's a designer
Yeah.
in some aspects, and he's a detailer in others. He's really, he just kind of. Our work ebbs and flows, and he just kind of follows that, depending on whether we need help. And then I have 2 full-time designers. I actually have more than 7 right now, come to think about it, because I have 4 detailers, and then I have Jenny that runs the whole show. So, yeah.
That's exciting for you. So what is your vision for in the future? Where are you going? Are you set your goals down, I'm sure, what you want to accomplish. How are you doing with that? And are you
Good.
making it? And
Yeah. My main goal is to wrap this up in about 10 years, as far as I'm concerned, so that Debbie and I can start going on missions.
Yeah,
That's kind of the plan.
Are you hoping your children will start?
Yeah, that's right. And I think that'll happen. So, one thing that I would recommend is never put your own name on the door.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be hard to back out of. At some point there'll need to be a name change here.
Right. In fact, that's one of the things that my teacher has said he has found it interesting following is all the companies that start out and they have partners and then they leave and they change the,
Yeah. Yeah, I learned that
Yes.
lesson too late.
Yeah.
And we're fine for now, you know, but at some point that's gonna have to change, so.
Well, that's exciting. Is there anything else you want to add to this? Just ad lib, anything you want to share? I'm not
You
good
know
at
me, I'm not very,
Well, you've done an excellent job. Just wonderful. I appreciate it.
well, I
It's-
appreciate you
Yeah, this is
taking
gonna be
interest in
fun.
us.
Well, you know, I've loved you. Okay, we can stop this
Yeah,
then.
that's a good idea.